This is Odin's Wolf Survival, and today I have two knives from Helle of Norway. They're probably two of my favorite knives, especially the larger of the two, the Viking. I've used one of these for quite a long time, and I find it just fits my hand. The profile of the handle and the shape of it. For a guardless knife, it's really nice. So we'll pull it first. That's this one. And that comes basically in the tube, which I thought was really kind of cool. A little about the knife and how to sharpen. It's a triple laminated blade, high carbon steel. The inner layer is harder than the outer two, which gives it a bit of flexibility. Nice leather sheath. I'll have a picture of all the specs pop up on the screen that I poached from Helle's site. Okay, this is a new one. The other one I've got another one just like this one. That's my knockabout knife that goes with me most everywhere. And I found when you hand your knife to idiots with the sheath, they somehow think they're a bigger man the harder they can slam a knife into the sheath. I don't get it, you know. But it started poking out through the tip because drill holes kept slamming the knife down into the sheath, which isn't necessary. So what I did to fix that was I put a little ball of epoxy down shoved it all the way down in the tip with a bamboo chopstick, and then pushed the knife into the depth I wanted it and let it harden up like JB Weld 2-part putty epoxy. Clear down in here, solve that problem. I like these style of sheaths because you can hang them most anywhere, belt, loop, buttonhole, whatever, however you want to carry it. I really did. At first I didn't like them, then it grew on me a lot. The knife, like I said, is triple laminated. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the line right through here on both sides. And even a little bit on the back. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. But it is a Scandi grind. You can see it's teardrop shaped and barrel profiled, which is about the best handle design for me as far as I'm concerned that I've run across. The Vikings got it right, and probably they got it from somewhere else before. That just fits the human hand. It was designed 1,000 years ago from a find. It still works today. Sometimes you don't need to change stuff. That just feels comfortable. The blade, as you can see, is we're going to use inches since we're in America here. Is 4 5/16 of an inch from the end of the handle. The handle is 4 3/16. So there you have it. The tang is what they call a stick tang, which it narrows down, and there's a stick tang, a steel that runs all the way back through. It's peened over a rivet, the old way, a diamond-shaped rivet. I've used a Mora knife that has stick tangs for years and never broke one. My general consensus is if I hear somebody talking about that they break Mora knives or have broken a Mora knife, then ask to borrow my knife, I won't let them do it, because that tells me they grossly abuse the type of tool that they're using or have no sense whatsoever. But it's a nice sheath, very nice leather sheath. We got a little bit of rubber cement poking out through the back, but that's easily cleaned up. I'm not worried about that. Made in Norway. That's always a good thing. Helle is from Norway, so I hope it is. Curly birch handle. Beautiful knife. I like it, it fits. Okay, this is the Saga Siglar, which is the smaller brother. I'd originally ordered this and was sent this one and didn't look at the name. So I corrected it. As you can tell, it's a smaller version, same thing, same barrel profile, teardrop, the stick tang with the, excuse me, getting over COVID, with the diamond rivet, the Scandi grind, and you can see the lamination right in here. I don't know, hopefully the camera's picking that up, but I'm guessing probably not due to the sun and it may not grab it. But you can, these things come out of the box just stupid sharp. I mean, when it's, that is no pressure whatsoever and it's peeling my fingernail. So let's see what it does to, there we go. Bald spot on the arm with no effort whatsoever. Nice and sharp. You can see the lines down again. It's a, this blade is 3.5 inches. Handle is 4 3/16, which is the same size of handle, just a little smaller blade. To me, they're both camp knives. One would be a little more utility than the other. I think the handle's a little narrower on the Siglar than the Viking. But that's how they look together. I really, like I said, for production knives, these are probably hands down my favorite, just due to the fit and the feel. I like the triple laminated steel. They cut and hold an edge quite nicely. I've never had an issue with them. They work. I've got one, the other one of these I've got is in my O'Shite bag because that's how much I like it and rely on it. So, I don't know, I'm not sure what they're running in at. Probably around $100 right now. They're not, I'll have put that up also. They're not cheap by any way, shape, or form. But, well, considering what you consider cheap, if you think a $500 knife is normal, then these are cheap. If you think a $10 knife is normal, these are expensive. You know, if you're the type to buy knives at Walmart, you're not going to like this. I can tell you that right now. They're overpriced for you. If you're out there buying $500-800 knives, then this is probably a more knife compared, you know, by comparison to what you like. It all is what you're into. A good knife that I can run in at about $100 that'll last me. My other ones run me years. I've had it for 10 years anyway. It's been a while. It's held up well. It's done everything I ask it to. Granted, I don't take it out and try to chop down trees and stuff with it, but it's done everything around from camp work and survival work and things along that line. Nice knives. Love them. Helle, these are my two favorite. That's just about where I'm going to stay with that. If you're looking for a good camp knife, companion knife to something, your axe or whatever, these are probably it. They work as well in the survival situation as in the field and in the kitchen. They work right across the board. A little thicker than a Mora, but they're right there. The Helle Viking and his little brother, the Saga Siglar, I think is what it is. I can never remember that name. Are about my two favorite production knives. Like the blade shape, always have. Like the Scandi grind, always have. The teardrop tapered barrel shape for the handle locks it in my grip, so it kind of makes a guard not necessary. And on a camp knife, a guard tends to get in the way anyway, for the most part, as far as I'm concerned. The Scandinavians have a saying that guards are for pussies. Now, I guess that's neither here nor there, but that depends on, in our culture, we don't grow up with knives as much as they do in a lot of other areas and use them all the time. Although Europe is quickly becoming a not knife-friendly country or area anymore. It's crazy. The world's changing. The spine on this, I don't think is hard enough to drive a fire steel ferro rod. I've tried it, and what burr that was on there, it tends to roll off because it's laminated blade, two softer chunks in surrounding a hard chunk. But where these come in handy is camp knives, personal use, cleaning game, doing whatever. But as you're sitting here doing different stuff, you know right where that edge is at because of the teardrop indexing. You can pick it up in the dark, doesn't really care. You know exactly where that edge is at. Sit here and make feather sticks without any problem at all. Look how easy that just peels that off of there. And if you can get that drop a spark in that, you're good to go. Or you can come back up. Even with a dead Bic lighter, you can work up the tinder. Yeah, I can hear a lot of people squealing right now. Oh, you're running your edge. I've done this quite a lot, and it doesn't seem to hurt it any. See all that fine dust coming off? That's what you want. You collect a lot of that fine dust, and then you take a dead Bic lighter if you have one. You can do it with a flint and steel too, but the dead Bic lighter, you just roll it real slow and get some of the ferro rod bits down in there, then flick it and it'll ignite it. The other, with a flint and steel, it's not like the Revenant where you sit there and have a standing up chunk of dry grass and the guy's sitting there blowing off a few sparks off of a flint and steel and all of a sudden he's got fire. Now, this right here, take this real fine stuff, you can work your sparks into it, but you got to remember those sparks are a lot finer, so your material has to be finer. It will catch it eventually, but it's a matter of persistence. How bad do you want to fire? It's like anything else. How bad do you want something done? You know, you don't. These run in at about $100, I think. They're not cheap knives. They're good knives. I like the feel of these. They've held up well. This is the one that I shoved a little bit of epoxy in the point because some dill hole shoved the tip out. You know, you don't have to slam a knife into the sheath. Doesn't make you a bigger man. But the Helle Viking, it's one of my favorite knives. I like it. This is usually fairly close to where I'm at and what I'm doing.